there was a lot of nitrogen tie up, which I didn't realize at first. Because one thing, and I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Batavia, but flowers and vegetables grow differently
Hmm.
and they need different nutrients, and the nitrogen tie up, like I said, in my whole life I never saw issues like I had with the vegetables. And as I grew into this and did it more and more, I started reading that you had to fertilize a lot more to combat it in the first year, and then you could go and you would expect for it to get better and better each year. And that was not my experience at all. I went through a whole season. I fertilized. What I realized is because I use an organic fertilizer, the key with organic fertilizer is it has to come in contact with the soil in order to start to break down. And once it starts to break down, it will feed your soil, which in turn will feed your plants. And I could not get it down because the wood chips were there. And I know, truth be told, if I would have run it for another year or two, it probably would have corrected itself. But I was having such bad experience with it that I had to pull it out because I'm still, what are we now, 3, 4 years later? I still feel the effects from it, and it is getting better in the lines of like I get roly polies really bad from it. And I mean the reason why is because as that stuff broke down, because I couldn't get it all out,
It's decaying
it's
matter,
decaying
right?
matter that they're attracted to. And so my seedlings, I struggle with directs. I don't struggle with seedlings, but like direct sowing at certain times
Hmm.
I will. I get a lot of them in there, and I'm constantly pulling them out. And it's been an ongoing issue ever since. I never had it before in any vegetable garden I've ever had until I put those wood chips down. And it's plain and simple. It just did not work for me. And I know a lot of people preach about it from the rooftops. A lot of
Yeah.
people.
So just quickly, the wood chips are using wood chips as mulch inside of your beds or your containers. And I did it for, I guess I'd say 1 year for sure, maybe 2 years. And I don't know that I was paying enough attention to notice that there was some harm done to the plants. It was just a pain as I tried to amend beds. I was really raking wood chips back at the end of every year, each of those seasons, growing years. And it was such a pain. And I could never get enough wood chips kind of to come to the edge of the bed. And now, as you mentioned, kind of the effects later, I use, shredded leaves instead of wood chips now. It's still decaying matter. And I use wood chips in my walkway. And I was sitting here thinking to myself, like, this may be the shove I need. The wood chips I get are free. That's the reason why, it was a primary source. It was
Yeah.
perfect for, the mulch and then for my walkway in the front yard garden. And I've wanted to do like the gravel for years and years, but just didn't want to pay for it. There's something to be said about the roly poly um, like colony that I have now, and
So
know
bad.
that it's still like they're churning away inside of the wood chips that I'm even using at the ground level.
Yeah.
So there's that. Yeah, it's in these spaces we're dealing with are so much smaller than when I've seen kind of the big recommendation about how wood chips can improve things for you. Like these folks are putting wood chips down, creating soil, coming back 2 or 3 years later,
Yeah.
right? And that's not the approach you or I were taking in our garden. So,
I mean,
yeah,
look,
that's
it may have been operator error. It
mm,
may have been at the time, but it just did not work for me because I don't want to buy a load of wood chips and then put them in a pile, let them sit for a couple years, and then come back. And I know that that works out well, and that's something that is definitely doable. But for me, it's putting it in the garden and letting it continuously work and break down and do the things that you do. And I didn't do that, but I never anticipated it was the worst garden I've ever had ever the year that I used wood chips. And it was one thing. I was trying to do something good, and I had no weeds, I will tell you that. But I had zero, and not zero, but everything just really struggled, and it was a constant battle. I was having to feed over and over and over and over again. And then at the end of it, it was just like when I pulled all that mulch back, I was shocked about what I saw underneath. And then the next year, I think I pulled it out, but I didn't go crazy and like dig it out or anything. I just got the bulk of it out, you know,
Hmm.
and then I put it in the flower garden, and then it did work. But I think it's great for walkways, flower beds, stuff like that. But
Hmm.
even flower beds, I kind of wonder if it's like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to like, of the tiers of mulch, so wood mulch is the worst mulch for me. It's at the
Hmm.
bottom of the barrel. I wouldn't use it unless I absolutely had to, or if it was well rotted mulch.
Yeah, I definitely do. I haven't topped off my flower beds in quite a while, but I don't know. It's not on my list of things to consider for next year, so I don't even know if I have the capacity to kind of reconsider the not that you've asked me to, but the wood chip specifically for my walkway. The roly polies are maddening for the reasons you described. Like that's it's competing with the cabbage butterfly for me when it comes to the damage that they do. And every season I have the kind-hearted argument with someone online, or someone tries to point out to me online how they only eat dying matter, decaying matter. Like, no, dude, they're absolutely eating these new seedlings. They're absolutely eating the
Absolutely.
leaves of some transplants, depending on how close they are to the soil
100%.
line.
Yeah,
Like,
100% do. And just for the record, we call them roly polies, not pill bugs, because at heart, we're still 5 years old. That's how it works. So,
have you
um,
ever seen a picture of baby Batavia? Oh,
no,
I
our
gotta show you a
relationship
picture
hasn't
of
gone to
baby
that level.
Batavia. It's a special kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
wait. I think I saw a picture of you. Um, man, remember the hair ties with the balls, the big
Oh, I was
plastic.
I was pretty I was like a teenager or something then.
Oh, were you? Yeah,
No,
I
I'm
saw
talking like
those.
hold your parent's hand as you're crossing the street,
Like
baby Batavia.
when I saw the picture I'm referring to, I remember it threw me right back to being in elementary school. I was like,
Oh,
man,
okay. Oh, like the barrettes and the hairball. Okay, maybe it
I
was.
don't know what that stuff's called.
You could use a dose of baby Batavia even if you have never if you've seen it or not. So, that's my gift to you.
Yeah, just just so you know, we were I was out surfing this morning, and my friend was like, "What size wetsuit are you wearing?" And I was like, I mean, it's a XXL. And she was like, "Well, what size is it?"